Have you ever felt like the story of human history has a few missing pages? You know, the official version we all learned in school. It's a neat timeline: stone tools, agriculture, ancient civilizations, the Industrial Revolution, and then us, right here, right now. But what if there are artifacts and discoveries that just don't fit? Objects that are too old, too advanced, or just plain too weird for their time? Today, we're diving deep into the world of these historical head-scratchers, the discoveries that challenge everything we think we know about our past. Let's start with a classic puzzle, the Antikythera mechanism. Picture this: it's the year 1901, and divers off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera find a shipwreck from the 1st century BCE. Inside, among the statues and pottery, is a corroded lump of bronze. For decades, nobody knew what it was. But as scientists started using X-rays and advanced imaging, they were stunned. This wasn't just a lump of metal. It was an incredibly complex machine, a hand-powered astronomical calculator with over 30 interlocking gears. It could predict eclipses, track the movements of the sun, moon, and the 5 known planets, and even showed the timing of the ancient Olympic Games. The level of engineering and astronomical knowledge required to build this is mind-boggling. It's a level of sophistication that, according to our history books, shouldn't have existed for another 1,000 years, until the mechanical clocks of medieval Europe. So, how did the ancient Greeks do it? Was it a one-off stroke of genius? Or is it a surviving relic of a lost technological tradition we know nothing about? The Antikythera mechanism is a ghost from the past, whispering that our ancestors might have been far more advanced than we give them credit for. Next, we travel from ancient Greece to the dusty plains of India, to a mystery etched in iron. Standing in Delhi is the famous iron pillar. It's about 24 feet tall and weighs over 6 tons. What's so special about a big iron pillar? Well, it was erected around 400 AD, making it over 1,600 years old. Here's the kicker: despite being exposed to Delhi's monsoons and harsh weather for all that time, it has barely rusted. Modern iron would have crumbled to dust centuries ago. For years, scientists were stumped. How did ancient Indian metallurgists create a nearly rust-proof iron pillar of this size? Recent studies show the pillar has a high phosphorus content, which helps form a thin, protective passive layer on the surface, preventing rust. But that just raises another question: did they know this? Was it a deliberate, masterful act of metallurgical science, or a lucky accident of using specific iron ores? Creating a single, massive piece of iron like this was a monumental feat in itself back then. To make it virtually immune to corrosion feels like something out of science fiction, not the 5th century. Now let's dig a little deeper. Literally, have you heard of the Beigong pipes? In a remote, largely uninhabited area of China's Qinghai province, there's a pyramid-shaped mountain. Inside caves at the foot of this mountain, and even embedded in the rock itself, are what appear to be iron pipes, some running from the mountain down to a nearby salt lake. Geologists have dated the rock they're found in to be millions of years old. Analysis of the pipes shows they're mostly iron, with a mix of other materials, some of which are radioactive. The local story is that they are relics left by extraterrestrials. Scientists, of course, are looking for a natural explanation. Some theories suggest they could be fossilized tree roots or strange geological formations. But their uniform size, their seemingly deliberate placement, and their metallic composition make them a real puzzle. If they are man-made, or rather, intelligence-made, who made them and when, they seem to predate humanity itself. The Beigong pipes remain one of the most bizarre and debated out-of-place artifacts ever found. Let's jump over to South America, to the Ica stones of Peru. This is a collection of thousands of andesite stones discovered in the 1960s by a local farmer. What makes them controversial are the images carved on their surfaces. They don't just show people and animals. They depict things that are completely out of place for ancient Peruvian culture. We're talking about detailed images of complex surgeries like heart transplants and brain operations. Some stones show people using what look like telescopes to observe the stars. And most famously, many stones show humans coexisting, and even fighting, with dinosaurs, stegosauruses, triceratops, and tyrannosauruses. Now, mainstream archaeology dismisses these as a modern hoax, arguing the farmer carved them to sell to tourists. And it's true, he did admit to carving some of them. But he also claimed that he faked some to avoid trouble with the government and that the original, ancient stones were found in a cave. The sheer volume and consistency of the stones make it a massive undertaking for one man. If they are genuine, they would completely rewrite not just human history, but the entire timeline of life on Earth. Could ancient people have found and correctly identified dinosaur fossils, or is something even stranger going on? The Ica stones force us to question the very line between fact, fiction, and forgery. And how about evidence of advanced machinery where it shouldn't be? In 1961, 3 friends were searching for geodes in California when they found a strange one. When they cut it open, it wasn't a crystal cluster inside. It was a perfectly symmetrical, man-made object that looked shockingly like a modern spark plug. It was encased in a hard shell of fossilized material, which geologists estimated to be around 500,000 years old. Dubbed the Coso artifact, it was X-rayed, revealing a metal core, a ceramic-like insulator, and a metallic sleeve. This is an object that looks like it belongs in a 20th century car engine, but it was found inside a 500,000-year-old rock. How is that possible? Skeptics were quick to propose explanations. The most popular theory is that it was simply a 1920s champion spark plug that got encased in a concretion of iron and rust, which can form relatively quickly. The original artifact has since disappeared, making further study impossible. But for those who saw it, the Coso artifact remains a tantalizing glimpse of technology existing long before its time. Was it evidence of a lost ancient civilization with internal combustion engines, or just a rusty old spark plug that fooled everyone? We may never know for sure. These are just a few examples of discoveries that seem to break the rules of history. From the impossible gears of the Antikythera mechanism to the rust-proof pillar of Delhi, and the prehistoric mysteries of the Bagong pipes and Ica stones. Each one is a breadcrumb, a hint that the story we've been told might not be the whole story. Mainstream science often dismisses these as misinterpretations, hoaxes, or natural phenomena we don't fully understand yet. And maybe some of them are, but can all of them be explained away so easily? It takes a certain kind of courage to look at these anomalies and ask, what if? What if there were advanced civilizations that rose and fell, leaving behind only these faint echoes of their existence? What if our timeline of progress wasn't a straight line, but a series of peaks and valleys we're only just beginning to uncover? These discoveries fuel our imagination and remind us that history is not a closed book. It's an ongoing investigation, with mysteries still waiting to be solved. What do you think? Are these artifacts proof of a lost chapter in our past, or just interesting puzzles with ordinary explanations? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next exploration. See you next time.